With Pennywise being one of the most recognisable horror icons, what differences do we see in both portrayals of the character?
Your lemon squares taste like ass.
Welcome to another Slash Her Saturday where I talk about all things horror. My name is Em, aka Horror, and in today's video I will be comparing both Tim Curry's and Bill Skarsgard's portrayals of Pennywise. This is not necessarily going to be a who played Pennywise better video, but rather a look into the visual and characteristic differences. I will also slightly be referencing the book and how both portrayals compare. So join me whilst I look into Pennywise the Dancing Clown. Pennywise is the main antagonist in Stephen King's 1986 novel It, and has also been referenced to and appeared in other Stephen King stories. It has been adapted twice for the screen, once for a TV miniseries in 1990 and then again for the big screen in 2017, with the concluding chapter being released in 2019. Pennywise is a form taken by a shape-shifting cosmic being. They use this form to terrorise a small town called Derry, where they manipulate the residents, going unnoticed by adults and feeding off the fear of children. It preys on the deepest, darkest fears of children, representing childhood trauma and the impact this has on them. Although it can and does take on the forms of those deepest fears, it chooses its primary form to be a clown, as he feels that this is what scares children the most. It appears every 27 years or so for a short period of time to wreak havoc on the town before it slumbers, waiting for its next feeding session. In the book, Pennywise's physical description mentions only that it wears a silver suit with orange pom-poms and white gloves, has a white face, bald head with red either side, a red smile, and that he is usually holding a bunch of balloons. Both versions of the character took this description but presented them in a very different way, which shows how a small amount of information can be taken in two completely opposite directions. This not only shows in the visuals of Pennywise, but also in the way both Curry and Skarsgard adapted the character as their own. So how do both portrayals compare? In 1990, we were introduced to Tim Curry's version in the TV miniseries. When looking at the visual presentation of the 1990s version, it's clear that inspiration was taken from the description in the book, as his caked-on white face with red hair and lips stand out. Although his suit is not silver, the vibrant colours in the suit complement the clown's makeup, which give Pennywise a clean look. Bill Skarsgard then took on the role starting in 2017. The white face with red hair and lips was used once more, but this time with a more sinister appearance. His hair is a duller shade of red, which is placed almost into three sections, and his red lip makeup extends to above his eyebrow, giving him an almost Victorian clown look. His suit is a dirty dull silver with orange pom-poms down the middle, and his collar is dusty grey ruffles, which hide his neck, drawing you into his face. He looks unwashed and unwelcoming, and you can truly see the evil in his eyes. It's interesting to see how the looks coincide with the way each actor portrays Pennywise, Skarsgard being the more naturally creepy version and Curry playing the more comedic party clown. Curry depicted the clown as very human-like. He was almost trustworthy until it was too late and he reeled you in with his clown-like persona. His use of jokes and slapstick comedy are characteristics you would see in any party clown, which when taken into context of the story is actually terrifying. His portrayal also goes hand in hand with his visual appearance. His voice is very strong and has a lot of personality. He sounds like what you would imagine a clown to sound like, and this reels you in, making you feel ready for entertainment and a performance. Skarsgard, on the other hand, played Pennywise in a more animalistic way, drooling at the sight of his prey and almost glitching out in places. This gives the feel of its true form, making the clown automatically creepy and untrustworthy, fitting in perfectly with his appearance. When he speaks as Pennywise, he has an almost childlike Winnie the Pooh kind of tone to his voice, which is intriguing. The way his voice can go from being very soft to all of a sudden sounding unhinged and manic shows the desperation in the character, making the creepiness felt even more. Both portrayals of the clown were acted out very well, with both actors making Pennywise their own. In the novel, Pennywise's persona differs from what we have seen in the movies, with his personality being slightly more vulgar and threatening. He uses lines in the book which really show its true intentions and make you understand the needs and aims it has. This is something we only truly understand when reading the book. Pennywise does not appear in the novel as much as he does in the two film adaptations, and because of this, his presence is more terrifying. What stands out in the book is that Pennywise gains the trust of his victims before his true colours show. When reading the book, you can feel the presence of Pennywise and how easily it would be to fall for his tricks and facade. The focus on it in the book is much more in-depth and colourful, giving you a completely different view on what it is and how it intends to present itself. Whilst both versions take aspects of Pennywise from the novel, the differences from each other do stand out. When I read the book, personally I envision Tim Curry's portrayal more than Bill Skarsgard's, as his feels more like King intended it to be. Although his portrayal is not spot on to the book, he gains his victims' trust far more easily than Skarsgard's version, reeling you into the clown more. However, Skarsgard presented a truly terrifying character which makes you feel on edge each time he is on screen, with its unpredictability leaving you feeling unnerved. Of course, both film adaptations were written very differently during contrasting time periods. They were also set in separate decades, with the original adaptation feeling like 80s and 90s horror and the newer adaptation playing into how horror is interpreted in modern times. Naturally, both versions offer a unique take on the story. As an audience, we seem to have almost become desensitized to certain aspects of horror, meaning that to truly give the majority of an audience a fright, constant changes need to be made, which is something we have seen happen throughout the years and which we will continue to see happen. It's also worth noting that acting methods are also constantly changing. Taking that into consideration, as expected, both versions turned out very differently from each other. Whether you prefer the 1990 or 2017 version more, it's agreeable that both Pennywises completely fit into what the vision was for their particular film adaptations. It truly does come down to personal preference to which version you prefer and also which type of horror you feel is more fitting to the story. If you have only seen the movies and not yet read the book, I would recommend doing so, as it gives you a personalised insight to the creature and plays on your own fears just as it would. You get a unique experience which is unlike anyone else's, as the writing is brilliantly done and truly terrifying. So as always, what do you guys think? Which version of Pennywise do you prefer? Have you read the book? Let me know down in the comments section. If you have enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe and switch on that notification button, as I will be uploading more content like this. Thank you so much for watching. You can check out my other content here. With that being said, I will see you in the next video.